Hello and welcome to Fusion 360 tutorial. This is CADArtifex's Autodesk Fusion 360, a power guide for beginners and intermediate users. Today we are in Chapter 6, tutorial number 1. So it looks like this. We have it's kind of a sort of Y shape over here on the right, and then kind of a bench and a rib going up here. So basically none of this is like all in the same plane, so we're gonna have to use some offset and mid-plane tools and create kind of these different features in separate steps. So jumping into Fusion, I'm going to save my file, ch6tu2 for tutorial chapter 6 tutorial 2, and I'm gonna get started. So looks to me like the first feature is on this plane, the right plane. So it's this Y shape up in the corner there that I'm going to do. So I am going to do that. So I'll start with a line here. And the book suggests that I do it in this order. So I'm going to go from here over to the right, 12. And from there up, this would be 32. And then I can click up and around and bring an arc. And then bring another arc up this way. And then come over 12. And then I could also, well, I'll do a center point arc here. And so I'll just pick somewhere roughly the center and then come back up to that line, switch back to my line tool, come over and down. This needs to be vertical, and this needs to be lined up with that line needs to be lined up with that. And what other dimensions? We have the 12 here, we also have 12 here, and this radius is 10, and I said this is 32. I think that yeah, that's locked in. Okay, so I think that these center points need to be touching. It doesn't show another center point. And then what else can change? Oh, this height I didn't set yet is 70. So that is all fully defined and locked in. So I can hit finish sketch and then hit E for extrude and extrude this. It is supposed to be a symmetric extrusion. So I'll type 60, and over here instead of one side I'm going to select symmetric, and I'm going to make that the whole length distance is 60. So there we go. I have that part of the design done. Now I need this like horizontal bench part type thing, but if you notice there's like an offset here. I could actually, since it's lined up on the back side, I could actually just create a sketch from this back face and do that, but the point of this exercise is to practice using the offset tool. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that here. So I'm going to do an offset plane. That's the default one up here, or you can select it in the drop-down menu. And I'm going to click on this face and come back -10 millimeters. That way I have this plane right here that's just offset by 10 millimeters from that front face. And this is where I'm going to work now for my second sketch. So I'll create a sketch and I'm going to click on that plane, and then it brings my view over like this. So now I am going to make that kind of L shape, I guess. So right now I can't click on this line at all, and if that's the case for you, then you could change a setting. There's a setting that is called Auto Project Edges on Reference. It kind of makes life easier. To find that, you go up to here, you click on your little profile, you go to Preferences, and under Design, General, if you click on Design, you can select Auto Project Edges on Reference. That just kind of skips a few steps, but the proper way to do it probably is actually to hit P for project, and to project this line into my drawing, because that's a line that doesn't actually exist in my current sketch, but once I hit OK, now it does. Now it shows up as purple. If I was to hide the existing bodies, it just has that line now that I'm referencing. So I'll click on that line somewhere over here and kind of just rough out my shape. I'm not even going to add in dimensions. You could add in dimensions right away, or do it later like I'm going to do. I'm going to lock that in as in line with that, and then start hitting D and adding dimensions. So this is 36, this is 70, this is 12, this is, oh, not that. This is 24. Oh, it says that's a driven constraint. Interesting. Guess it doesn't need it, but I'll put it in anyway since the sketch shows it. And then 12 there. Now my shape is fully defined, and I have it, it's fully surrounded as well, and it's got the blue there. So if I hit E, it takes me out of my sketch and I can already start extruding. So I could go -50 would line up with this face, and that's what the book tells you to do. Math, it works out. But if you rotate your view and click on this face, it'll actually automatically bring it even with that face. Same thing can be done by changing your extent type to object, and then you can click on that. Or yeah, all doesn't really work in this case, but you can do object and click on that face. It's the same thing. So if I do it as toObject and then I was to change the dimension of the other thing, then it would automatically line up with that too. So I'll hit OK, and I have that shape done. So now we just have the kind of the rib that goes up the middle here. So that, according to the drawing, is 21 from this backside, and it's 8 thick. But another way to think about it is to do it as it's supposed to be like midway on this face. So I'm gonna go to construct up here and select midplane, and I'm gonna click on two faces. So that face and this one, and that's gonna get me halfway between the two, exactly the middle between them, and that's generating a midplane. So this is where we want to create our rib feature. So I'll click create sketch, click on that face or plane rather, and again, if I had auto project edges on reference turned on, that option in preferences, then I would be able to click this and just find those corners automatically. But instead I have to hit P for project and project these points. Oh, not that line, that point. I'll project those three things into my drawing, and now I can connect my shapes and hit E for extrude, change it from one side to symmetric. This time I want the half distance is 4. The whole thing would be 8, right? And then I'm done. Now, to confirm that the spacing is right, this is the way the book told me to do it. Doing it as the midplane and stuff, but I could also hit I for inspect, which brings up this measurement box, and I can click that line to that line is 21 millimeters. And you can like measure different aspects of your drawing with the inspect measure tool. So yeah, again, under the inspect drop down, it's either up here or it's right here, and the hotkey is I. So you can just hit I and measure anything in your drawing anytime you want. So that's kind of handy. So by the way, I like to have my view, if I right click on the view cube, I like to have it as perspective with ortho faces. So you'll notice that if it's orthographic, it just stretches things out weird. It looks weird from different angles. Sometimes it kind of blows out of proportion. So I like perspective, but then if you're doing true perspective, and you're looking at a face, it doesn't always show up quite right. Like I can see some of this stuff. So I do like to do the perspective with ortho faces so that it just keeps it neat and clean. So I'll just hit the home view and now I am done. I'll hit save, and that concludes this tutorial. Thanks for watching.